glad to be here with you all again. And I wanted to say right away, all the comments and remarks that are shown to me from the internet will all be made by great members of the Rott Stock and made me feel like I was something that really didn't exist. But anyway, I thank you and I accept all that on behalf of all the people I didn't bring home and never came home from the Rott War. As my wife said, I'm going to do a little thing on her, but there were a lot of women in the wars, and she was one that sat in many of these chairs here at this post. And I want to read you the eulogy of this post. Wrote on her. Everybody reads it. Well, over here. Anyway, with that, take my comments on behalf of the speaker for those who can't be here to speak for themselves. Everybody says that's the reason God's keeping you around for all you're going through. I'm now fighting the colon cancer as well as they found 3 blockages in my heart. They can't understand why I'm still walking around. I know why. I got the best doctor in the world up here. He brought me through all my mission. So with that, I'm going to today, instead of trying to speak all the top of my head, I'm going to read some comments on veterans, particularly women. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the book Chicken Soup. Well, this one's Chicken Soup for the military. And there's a story in there from a nurse who was under our command in Vietnam, and this was her story that she sent in. It's called Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. First, by Liz Allen, who was one of my Vietnam nurses, he writes, all those soldiers belong to somebody. They got moms, and they got wives, and they got kids, and they got somebody to love them. We just don't throw them in the garbage. And here's what nurse said about it. Growing up, I wanted to be a doctor, but money was scarce, so I went to nursing school. In 1966, during my senior year in the Army Nursing Board, recruiter came to talk to me. It all sounded so exciting. I would have a chance to travel, get paid well, and most important, I was assured that I wouldn't have to go to Vietnam if I didn't want to, which I did. So I signed up. After basic training, I was assigned to Veteran Hospital for City of San Francisco. During those 2 years of veteran, I received orders for Vietnam 3 times. The first 2 times, I said no. But the third time, I decided with my 2 years of experience, we could need to go there. And I would be a huge asset. So I landed at Consolidate Air Base. That's where my headquarters were. And when the airplane door opened, I nearly fell over backwards, overwhelmed by the heat and stench. That was right after the Tet Offensive started. We had a lot of dead bodies hauled up. Coroners couldn't get through the tree to send home. And I had them locked in my locker. Every day I had to go through there, open up those bags, and look at them to see what was going on. I'll never get over that. Suddenly, she said, all my experience seemed trivial. Being 23 years old seemed very young. I was scared to tell that there was no turning back. After our briefing, I signed to the 67th Back Hospital in Vietnam. When the helicopter landed on the hospital tarmac, they set my things onto the ground. I climbed out, scraping my skirt. The soldiers in the helicopter yelled, "Good luck, Captain," and they took off. I was in my Class A uniform, which meant I was also wearing nylons and high heels. Nothing could be less appropriate for my surroundings. Miles of barbed wire topped by concertina wire encompassed the hospital complex, and the large adjoining airport, along with sections of hot concrete. I squared my shoulders and marched inside the green city block building in front of me. I was told to get some sleep because I immediately escaped to start tomorrow. I briefly fell into bed, and in the morning I got into the appropriate uniform, pigs and army boots, just like all the soldiers. And because I was a captain, I was made head nurse on the orthopedic unit, which primarily dealt with soldiers with traumatic amputations. my role very seriously and had a reputation for strictness. Being a nurse in the States for 2 years did not adequately prepare me for Vietnam. I witnessed a tremendous amount of suffering and watched a lot of men die. One of my rules was though the nurses were not allowed to cry while we were. My wounded and dying men needed our strength, and I told them we're not going to indulge in the luxury of our own feelings. On the other hand, I was always straight with all the soldiers. I would never say, oh, you're going to be just fine. If they were on their way out, I didn't lie to them. But I remember one kid that I didn't want to death, badly wounded soldier, couldn't have been more than 18 years old. I could see immediately there was nothing we could do to save him. He never screamed or complained, even though he must have been in a lot of terrible pain. When he asked me, am I going to die? I said, do you feel like you are? He said, yeah, I do. He said, I told him, do you pray? I asked him. He said, I know now, lay me down to sleep. He said, good, that'll work. When he asked me if I would hold his hand, something in me snapped. The kid deserved more than just having his hand held. I'll do better than that for him. I knew I would catch flack from all the other nurses in the court, as well as the cheers of all the other patients, but I didn't care. Without a single look around me, I climbed into the bed. I put my arms around him, stroking his face and his hair as he stumbled up close to me. I kissed him on the cheek and readily recited, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul be free. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul be free. Then he looked at me and he said, just one more last sentence. I love you, Mama. I love you. And before he died, he reminded me, if I can keep you, he really was just like going to sleep. After a minute, I slipped off the bed and looked around. I'm sure my face was set in a fierce scowl, and there he came to give me a hard time. But it needn't have bothered me. All the nurses in Portland were breaking down and they were crying over me. Tears filling their eyes, rolling down her cheeks. And I thought of the dead soldier's mother. She would receive a telegram informing her that her son had died of wounding. But that was all it would say. And I